What up, people? It's your boy Marv, and this is the Nerds in the Hood. Anyway, y'all, I hope y'all having a wonderful evening. Just wanted to talk to y'all because earlier we had Nintendo Direct's news conference, and I wanted to holler at y'all about that and give my thoughts and opinions on it. As always, this is just a place to be to talk about it. Nerds in the Hood is what we do. We keep it going for the culture, both parts alike, nerd culture, hood culture, but more nerd culture. That's what we do. So it's the fun we have. And I am one such nerd, as I've already expressed. If you look at my earlier videos, I tell you what it is to be a nerd. So make sure you check that out when you subscribe to my page. The link tree is in the description. All right? So, for those of you who are new to video games, or you don't, not to say new, but just you don't really know much about the video game world, this is basically what goes down. So back in the day when we were kids, we used to always watch game conferences. If you remember, if you're a video game fan, you definitely remember. But game conferences like the Electronic Entertainment Expo or anything of that nature. E3 was one of the big ones. So when they used to do these things, they would always introduce the latest games, the latest news announcements, all that stuff, all in the span of like a weekend. And people would be hyped for the new games, the new console announcements, anything of that nature that was coming out. You were like, yo, I am so ready to get this right here. I can't wait. This is going to be fire. And you just counted down the days until it came out. So now we don't have that anymore. E3 is over. You know what I'm saying? We're in a new world. And this world just about doing conferences when you feel like doing conferences, making announcements when you need to make the announcements. And Nintendo has done a very good job of doing this, I believe, since the Switch came out, probably before then. And it's called Nintendo Direct because they saying we the ones you gonna get the information from. It's coming directly from the source. Holla at your boy. Don't go out here and get the rumors from somewhere else. Holla at Nintendo. That's why they give it to you direct. You heard? Anyway. What they do with this conference is they basically tell it to you like it is. What's coming out, when it's coming out, DLC, any extra things. You know, they kind of tell you the price sometimes depending on what they want to tell you what the price is. The other ones is like, yo, you already know the vibes. Standard video game prices, bang. Holla at your boys when it come out. So they usually do two types of Nintendo Direct showcases. One is basically about their first party titles for the most part. It's about everything Mario, everything Pokemon, everything Zelda, Metroid, any of those things, they talk about that first. The second one is their indie partner showcase, right? Am I saying it right? Let's make sure. It is the indie partner showcase. Now, what they do with this one, partner showcase. So basically it's an indie partner showcase. So what they do with this one is this is all about the non-first party games. These are games that weren't homegrown from the world of Nintendo. They were more homegrown from the world of Capcom or Square Enix or Namco Bandai, or some other company that is outside of Nintendo. But Nintendo has got the license to acquire said title and put it on their programs, such as the Nintendo Switch. Well, actually, only the Nintendo Switch. We don't got nothing else going anymore. RIP 3DS, RIP Wii U. We miss y'all, you know what I'm saying? But we on the Switch world, and one day we're going to be saying RIP to the Switch, you feel me? So, with that being said, I just wanted to talk. I'm not going to sit here and tell you about every game that's coming out, but I just wanted to highlight some of the things I noticed because there's a lot of the things I already be talking about on this program when it comes to Nintendo and their games. Nintendo has found a way to be the, what's the best way to say it? You know what? No, let's say it. It's going to sound corny, but shoot, let's do it. It's YouTube. They became the masters of the remaster, in my personal opinion. They always found a way to bring back these games and enhance the graphics and just give you the same game and probably put a little bit of extra oomph on it, give you a little extra hookup, but it's mainly the same game. But they have become the masters of the remaster. Already now we know that on the way we already are, well, let's say currently. Currently we know that we have the Mario RPG game that is the Legend of the Seven Stars. We have Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door, and we have Luigi's Mansion 2. I'm sure all three of those are selling really well, but they were remastered basically and put on the Nintendo Switch. Pikmin 1 and 2 also is another example. HD version now. on the Nintendo Switch. Donkey Kong Country is coming out with its return version, Nintendo Switch. And that was already ported to the 3DS, and now it's being ported to the Switch. So they are really, really good at doing this. They're really good at doing this. I will never take that away from them, how good they are at remastering, bringing back old classics, porting titles from older systems, and just bringing them out, selling them to you at a high price because they know you're going to cop it, because they remember how much you love the game. And they're cool with like adding extra features to kind of sweeten the deal a little bit, entice you a little bit. You know, they're going to show you a good time before they let you know you got. Throw their hands up like, gotcha, straight Kanye style. So with that being said, I'm not against it. Am I against it? Absolutely not. But when you know what you know, you don't get mad at it. You just go ahead with the motions as long as you know the vibes. So like, just let me give you an example. So some of the titles they announced that is like basically an older version just coming back to the Switch. So we have, if I'm right, I know there is a Shovel Knight one. Yep, Shovel Knight, Shovel of Hope DX, which is an enhanced edition of the older game. It's going to have new features, multiplayer, stuff like that. We got Metal Slug Tactics. I think that might be a new one, but I really feel like that's the older one because I didn't get to see that, but I'm reading about it. Look at that. Sid Meier's Civilization 7. Well, there's a group of people that like Sid Meier's Civilization, and to you got my salute. I'm not the one. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics and Capcom Fighting Collection 2. Those two I'm going to come back to in a minute. We going to talk about that. Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D Remake, which is basically an HD version, but you're going to see in 2D movement and stuff like that. But that is a game that came out many decades ago. So this is just an idea of what is going on. This is just a small example. So look at it. Tales of Grace Remastered. Just, you see what I'm saying? That was the example I needed. And Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remastered. These are just examples of what I'm talking about. They are good at that. And if I'm right, I think there's an Epic Mickey. Yep, Epic Mickey Rebrushed. They are good at that. They're masters of the remaster. And they know how to do it. They know the right audience to sell that to. Now, PlayStation does it, yes. Xbox does it, yes. But it's just something about the way Nintendo goes about doing it. They even are remastering the Phoenix Wright spinoff, Miles Edgeworth, right? They're doing all of that stuff. They are remastering these joints. So it's just like, I know we don't talk about him much anymore because of the trouble he's caused. But just like how Diddy said, we invented the remix, Nintendo basically might as well say we are the masters of the remaster. Nintendo, feel free to take that from your boy. As long as you give me a little stipend on the side, you know what I'm saying, a little commission. But feel free to take that. You're the masters of the remaster, and we salute you for it. You know what I'm saying? Survey Corps, we salute you for it. So there is a lot of heat coming out. And then when it comes to indies, I'm not really one for all the indie games, but I did see a few things like the Sea of Stars DLC. Sea of Stars is kind of cool. And Lego Horizon Adventures. Lego games are always very addictive, even when you don't want to play them. No matter which franchise they're doing, whether it's their own Legos or Star Wars or Harry Potter or I think they did, not Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones would be fire, but not Game of Thrones. Legend of Lord of the Rings. Yeah, there we go. Like one of those, they do a good job on them, and you can't really fault them for that. Or Marvel or DC superheroes, they do good on those things. So to get that again and to know that it keeps working, come with it. Here's one I wanted to kind of touch base on real quick, because these games don't get the attention that they really do deserve. And maybe it's because they sell it to you at the high price that the elite video games are being sold as. But that's a standard price for video games today, is between sometimes $50, but $60 to $70, which is insane. But this is what we pay for to get these 4K graphics, or in Nintendo's case, the HD graphics. So they have a game coming out later this year in December called Fitness Boxing Your Personal Trainer. Now, why am I highlighting this? Glad you asked. Because I left out one key detail in the title of this Fitness Boxer game. This is the 3rd edition. This game already has a trilogy, ladies and gentlemen. This game has a trilogy. Marinate on that for a second. Marinate on that for a second. As I move my chair. I'm in a tight space, y'all. Forgive me. Marinate on that for a second. That's all I'm going to say. Marinate on that for a second. Go ahead. I'll wait. Now, when I first saw this, I saw Just Dance, the 2025 edition. I said, cool, Just Dance always doing this thing. That's a good cardio workout every single time with some of your favorite songs, even songs you ain't never heard of before. And when you bring friends and family in, you having a ball. You know what I mean? I haven't played nobody online. If it goes online, I think that'd be funny. You play somebody overseas, but because if they cooking you, well, on Nintendo, that you can't really chat. But if you played on like PlayStation, you hear them in the mic like, yo, you a trash dancer, bro. I would never play again. Anyway, I am like, I'm not going to lie to y'all. I think, I thought I had the game case up here. Hold on just a second. Hold on a second.
A few moments later.
Okay. I actually thought I owned the game. And it turns out it was called Knockout Home Fitness, which is a completely different game. But anyway, I digress. Fitness Boxing 3, basically with these games, you follow routines, you do workouts, they have daily challenges, just ways to keep you in shape while having fun. And it's cheaper than getting that Ring Fit adventure that Nintendo did, even though a lot of people were really excited with the Ring Fit adventure. It did better than I'm sure even Nintendo probably thought it would do, and it was fun, but it was $80. You can get these games for like $50. I don't think they're $60, but you can get these games for like $50. Fitness Boxing 3, though, the fact that they made a trilogy, like I said, is pretty cool for them, but very unsurprising. But if you don't like working out outside, at least, if you don't like going to the gym, if you're not in a run club, a walk club, first of all, do those because they're free. But if you're not subscribed to a gym, if you're not going out here doing a Rough Riders workout, if you're not outside working out in the park or straight hood stuff or any types of workout, use these games as a platform to just work out for yourself. Have fun. Like, this is the cardio you need. You still getting that cardio while playing video games at the same time. That's a win-win. And if you don't want to do those, get Just Dance. It's just as good. When I was growing up, it was Dance Dance Revolution, DDR. That was my cardio right there. That kept me up. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go into sports teams. I played DDR. Now there's Just Dance. Just Dance is the spiritual successor to DDR. So take with that what you will. But shout out to the people who made this game. Fitness Boxer, your personal trainer. Shout out to them because they made a trilogy. This game is a franchise. And they have similar stuff like if you see Wii Fitness back in the day and they had like the personal trainers, they have personal trainers in here. So if there's another Smash Brothers, they need to use these people to face off against the Wii trainers. That would be a dope trilogy. I'm just saying. Goat Simulator 3 also is a trilogy and people found a way to make this game a vibe. So kudos to them. And Patrick Star getting his own video game. Shout outs to you, man. You've made this spinoff thing your thing with the cartoon series, and this is dope. People find a way to play these SpongeBob games and they like them. That's your business. It's rare to me that a Nickelodeon game was actually really good. So SpongeBob might be winning by default. Outside of Nickelodeon All-Stars, of course. But I'm saying like the old Rugrats games, I think Danny Phantom had a game. I think Jimmy Neutron had a game. I feel like Fairly Odd Parents had a game. Avatar had a game. And Ninja Turtles had a game when they was on Nickelodeon. They still are. And most of them didn't really pan out. So for SpongeBob to still be doing something right, for people who don't want to buy it, they doing something right. They even had a Mario Kart version of Nickelodeon All-Stars, basically. And it was trash. And they made like 2 of them. Or 3, I think. And they were all trash. So, there's a lot of stuff coming soon. And there's a Castlevania Dominus version, which are games that were on the DS that are coming to the Nintendo Switch. So again, whether they remaster it or not, they know how to port things. They're the captain of the ports, and they're the remasters of the master of the remaster. So it's, oh my gosh, it's so crazy how they do this. We're getting more Tetris to celebrate 40 years. 40 years of Tetris. Oh my gosh, I'm almost 40. Tetris is 40. Wow, that's crazy, y'all. 40 years of Tetris is a vibe. I got to give them that props because Tetris has been rocking for a minute. and they've been doing it, and it's been a fun game no matter what. And they even made a movie about Tetris. Like everything is about how Tetris was made, not like some video game storyline of Tetris. You know what I mean? Like nothing like that. But shout out to Tetris because they've been entertaining households for 40 years, and they're still making games because Tetris Forever is going to be another game with a lot of different versions, online play, stuff like that. The NES version of Tetris is coming to the Switch Online, which allows you to play old video games from Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, and so much more. The Game Boy versions up to the DS, the Sega Genesis, stuff of that nature is going to be so much fun. Five Nights at Freddy's is getting another game. Now, they always make good games, but one thing I forgot to mention was that even though Borderlands was a bad movie, Five Nights at Freddy was a bad movie. So they're part of the "you messed us up" brigade when it comes to video game movies. Anyway, and look, again, another remaster. Tales of Grace remastered. The masters of the remaster. I'm not making this up. This was a game that came out on the Wii system. So I didn't even knew about this. Then again, I only played like 2 or 3 Tales games, and the best one to me was always Tales of Symphonia, which they remastered. So, do it again. Have fun. Now, all that being said, there's a lot more of this that I could talk about, and you can check that out on your websites and stuff like that. But we all know why we came to this Nintendo showcase today, ladies and gentlemen. We all know why we came to get a direct from Nintendo. Because of 2 such games. One we actually knew was coming out, and another one we didn't know about unless you was really on the know of it. And that is Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection and Capcom Fighting Collection 2. The fact that both of these are coming out is just like that's amazing. Let me let y'all hear this real quick. For Capcom Fighting Collection 2, which is going to come out next year in 2025, we have Capcom vs. SNK 2, Mark of the Millennium 2001, Plasma Sword Nightmare of Bliston, Power Stone 1, and Power Stone 2. And there's other games because it looked like there was like a Rival Schools game in there, but I don't think it was. It was something similar. But there's other games from like the PlayStation era, the Dreamcast era, that are going to be coming out for this system. So for all of you fighting game like nerds, yeah, hardcore fighting game cats, this is the one for you next year. These games are going to be fire. They're going to allow you to play it online. It's going to be crazy. You can hear the soundtracks. If you love the music from those games, it's going to be a vibe. So make sure you look out for that, pre-order it, whatever you got to do, get on that when it comes out. Power Stone and Power Stone 2, out of all of those, were 2 of my favorite games. It made me love the Dreamcast very well. And when the time was right, it gave a certain anime its own video game style of play, which was One Piece. One Piece had their Grand Battle Collection on the Nintendo GameCube. And I think they had a PlayStation 2 version as well. But that was one of my favorite games because it was just like Power Stone. And it was fun. It was fun to me. And Marv vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics. Listen to this right here. X-Men Children of the Atom. Marvel Superheroes. X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Marvel vs. Street Fighter. Marvel vs. Capcom. Clash of Superheroes, which is Marvel vs. Capcom 1. And Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And they even threw in an arcade game known as The Punisher. If you didn't know about that, that was just because it was an arcade game. So a lot of times we didn't really get to play those things. But what a lineup, ladies and gentlemen. This is nostalgia at its finest because these are 7 of the most fun games. Some of them underrated, but they were the most fun games when I was growing up. X-Men Children of the Atom was I did not expect it to be that good. You never expect any game sometimes to be that good because you get let down by adaptation games, but this was so good. So good. So this game is going to be really fire because you're playing the old games again with a slight tweak in the graphics. You get online play, but best of all, you get to hear the soundtrack from all of these games. The main soundtrack, I think we all can agree, if you know, you know, that we want to hear again is Marvel vs. Capcom 2. That was one of the greatest video game soundtracks, especially in a fighting game, outside of like Smash Brothers. There's other ones, but oh my gosh. And these were original songs. So it wasn't even like Smash Brothers, which like did like orchestra up versions of old Nintendo songs and old Sega songs. This was original songs that you were like as a teenager, like, yo, this is a bop. Like that's just one. I could go on and on, but I don't want to keep y'all. I don't want to keep y'all on this video. You know what I'm saying? I already took too long. But these two games are going to make you, if you don't got a Switch, you would want to get a Switch for these games. Unless Switch did something crazy. Because right now, this is a Nintendo Switch exclusive. There has been no talk of it going to the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox One. There's been no talk. But that doesn't stop them from going there because they're not Nintendo games. These are games that were more... Actually, all of these games, when I remember, they was on the PlayStation, they was on the Dreamcast. They weren't Nintendo games. So for Nintendo to get the license to do this, fire. But if they lose it and becomes a third-party title, third-party means it could be played on all platforms. It could be multi-platform. It could be a PlayStation game. It could be a Nintendo game. It could be an Xbox game. It doesn't belong to one entity. It's everybody's. Whereas a first-party game means, hey, this is a Nintendo game. You want to see this on Nintendo. You know what I mean? And only Nintendo. You could call it multi-platform. I usually call it first-party, third-party. But you can call it multi-platform or just platform exclusive, whatever. But I haven't been excited for a video game in a while. Even though there's good games out here, like the whole Mukong joint with the Monkey King, that joint is fire right now, is firing on all cylinders. But I haven't really been very excited for a game in a long time. So it really feels good to see that. But that was because of, again, nostalgia, where Nintendo is hitting. They hit you right here with the nostalgia. And then you know what they do? They hit you right here in the heart. And then they hit you right here. Hit you twice, and you're gonna feel the effects. But they do a good job at it. The masters of the remaster. So please look out for this game. They just announced, and this part it was crazy to me. You can get the digital version in September, meaning you can save it to your Nintendo Switch and play it to your heart's content. But if you don't want the digital version and you want to wait to get the actual cartridge and the casing, and if they do some special edition casing, that's cool. You got to wait till November, the middle of November, to get this game. So by then, cast is already either going to be played out of it or they're going to have enough combos where by the time you get nasty, they cooking you. They cooking you. If you can, get that joint in September because that's all I'm going to do. I don't need the case. I'm good. I got enough game cases as it is that I don't even touch. I'm good. I'm going to play this joint on my Switch, save it directly. I got my 1 terabyte SD card. I'm Gucci. So I'm playing that joint. And when the other game come out, I'm playing that joint too for the Power Stone. I'm ready to have fun. And the other best thing they announced was 1-button specials. Back in the day, you had to do some whole combination to get the special off, no matter what level special it was. Now you press it whatever time, bang, going off. Super special. You good. Thank you. Whoever chose that at Capcom, bless you. Bless your heart, sir. Or madam, bless your heart. We appreciate you so much. Oh my gosh. Before I go, I just want to throw out one game that I think might be a sleeper hit, and I could be wrong, but I've been keeping my eye on it. And the more and more news is circulating about it, the more anticipated and hype I get, the more that grows for me. And that game is Funko Fusion. Funko Fusion. If you haven't heard of this game, they're basically going to take a lot of Funkos from different like genres, like Megan or the movie Megan or Scott Pilgrim versus the World, just name like a few. And they're just going to put them in a game where their powers come alive and everything like that. And that's going to come out later this year towards the holiday. And that game looks fun to me for some reason. Like just watching He-Man with the sword and watching Scott Pilgrim, and they look exactly like their Funkos. Like imagine you had a Funko Pop like this just coming to life and doing the powers that it normally does, even though Rita didn't really do a lot. But whatever. Like that'd be fire, right? That would be fire to me. So I'm waiting to see that, and I'm waiting to see what happens with it because it's gonna be fire. And of course, Yakuza is getting another game too. That was another sleeper that I forgot. Yakuza Kiwami. Yakuza games are always crazy too because it's like For me, I can never fully get into a Yakuza game, even though they're fun. And now they have the TV series coming out on Amazon Prime, so that should be fun. But it's always just like a lot of like running through the city, karaoke, go here, and then eventually you get into a fight, and then the fight will be fun. But it's always like it's a slow burn. That's what it is that you gotta love about a game like Yakuza. It's a slow burn. And if you like a slow burn, that's a game for you. It's just not for me. So Nintendo, again, keeping it direct, even with the non-homegrown titles. And these should be fun. I'm looking forward to all of the ones that I wanted to see, all of the ones that I talked about with you. And of course, that Marv vs. Capcom, you feel me, is going to be going down in a couple of weeks. And I cannot wait. I saved up my money for this. I done worked hard for this. I'm ready. You know what I mean? After I pay my rent, I'm getting this game. That and 2K is going to hold me down for a little bit until some other fire comes out, which I know it will. It's what it does. But in the meantime, between time, that was us talking about the Nintendo Direct. We're going to check back in with Nintendo if they do another conference down the line about whatever they talk about, the fabled rumored Switch 2 or whatever happens. We'll be on the know and on the know for you. So again, make sure you subscribe to Nerds in the Hood. Check out our link tree in the description. You can use that to follow us on any web of our social media websites that we are currently logged into. And check out everything we're doing. We got a lot of new things on the way. This is our reboot season, so we're doing new things on there. But make sure you check it out. We have a lot of interesting content, including our anime rap intros, where we remix an anime opening with a rap song. Simple as that. Just, Samurai Champloo had a rap song. Afro Samurai had a rap song. A few others had rap songs, but not everyone did. So we're exploring the possibilities of what if all of them did. Let's just have fun with it. You know what I'm saying? So, catch you again next time on another edition of Nerds in the Hood. It's your boy Marv Lat. I'm off this. Peace.